Hey everybody, hope you're all having a good day. Precious Siblings, it's back, so let's go over the manga from there. So we have Dual Corin. Their dual skill is the following status is granted damage, turn free space damage for the turn. Increases speed 7% for the full make of attack by 10. So a little bit of the frozen there. Then applies the 5 main water on their space and space when free spaces of them for 2 turns. For the 5 main water, the following effects are applied. It acts as difficult terrain for foes that have a reach of 2. So which you see says it just costs 1 extra movement basically. Does not apply that can't be terrain. And movement cost can actually eat 11 basically. So basically if they have 2 movement, they just move for 1. But if they have 3, then it's 2 essentially. Other than that, speed -5 on the foe and reduce the percentage of foes non-splash resistant acts single by 50% during combat. Excluding specials. If the percentage is an odd number, it rounds up. Outside of that, the 5 mains can only be placed once per tile. So if a new one gets applied on the tile this is on, it gets overridden. If multiple the 5 mains are applied simultaneously, none will trigger. None will be applied basically. And then we have Duststone. Excels with trigger requirements 1. If foe reaches 2, calculate the damage used load of foe's defense or res. At the start of turn, on the start of the player phase, except Summer Stool. If their HP is 20% or above, Draconic Hex is granted the damage allies when to use the dam. Either their code counters max following, code count -1. Draconic Hex is -5 to attack, speed, defense, res. On the foe, and affects penalties on those stats equal to 5 minus current penalty on each of those stats for 1 turn. And minimum 0. So say if they have like -3 in speed and then -2 in defense. They'll get -2 in speed, -3 in defense. Outside of that, so our common HP is 20% or above. Attack speed, defense res is penalty is inflicted on foe, equal to the number of foes from free which command center of them times speed plus 5. Max is 14. If save is triggered, then it's going to be treated as 14. They deal plus X damage, excluding for specials. Reduce damage if attacked by axe during combat, also excluding specials. The axe here is number of allies from free space of 10 times speed plus 5, max 15. Save triggered, it's considered 15. And also, if foes attack a trigger foe's special, and the resistance equal or greater to foe's resistance plus 5, the following effects are triggered. Inflicts quick plus 1 on foe before their first attack. And foe's first attack triggers the attacks twice effect. Plus 1 is inflicted on the foe's second strike as well. And this, in both cases, they never see maximum clone value. So say we find a foe that has a brave weapon, and they will attack, will be +1, they'll attack, do it again, sort of situation. And then, if their HP is 20% or above start combat, and their current count is maximum value, cooldown count -1 to them after combat. And then Dragon Fang Fire. Boost times by 4% of the resistance with special triggers. If skill compares their res to the allies, boost times by 4% of the res. And then if skill compares their res to the foe allies' res, it trades them plus ground by +5. If they arrest the foe, reduce damage from attacks during combat or specials, 8 skin worker. 5% equal to the stats times 10. That's basically just XR. Difference to the stats times XR. -6, so it's by X. And the X is max X times 10 for my specials. The X is it minus current code value, otherwise X is equal to 4 minus code value. My mistake, I misread that. Then if their specials ready or chase during combat, reduce damage from foes, reduce the percentage of foes non-switches to accent skill by 50%. And then after combat, if their special triggers, the 5 main water is applied to target space and 8 space within 2 space of target for the turn. Primordial boost, HP plus 5, unconditional. And then foe needs to combat, order HP is 50% or above at the start combat. Speed defense plus 9 and 7 HP restored them after combat. Clarifier, attack speed -4 on foe, neutralize effects guarantees foe's fall attack and prevents stirs. And increase speed difference outside for foe to make a fall attack by 10. So, for example, speed difference necessary increased by 10, they must be 15 or more, basically. And combined with their other thing, if the 5 main, it'll go up to the May, like 25 essentially. And so if their speed is equal or greater than foe speed minus 10, reduce the foe's first attack by 10 during combat. First attack means first strike, yada yada. And of course, this is a flat 10 boost. And lower ground, if foe zone cannot warp when free space of them and their range is 2, 4 space instead. In another case, this will not affect foes with pass or will affect from like rivals domain. If foe is 1 and this becomes a combat against an ally, Savior is triggered. And if foe is 1, defense was support during combat. Savior means they fight instead of the ally, stand time rules apply, so they can't do it in like mountains or the sea. Any post-battle effects will, like movements will not occur. And for the nature of it, if multiple allies have the same sort of condition, neither will trigger. So let's say if a sword unit is going to fight, sorry, if a Dragon Stone unit is we'll say sword. So sword user gets 92 space. They have this, and someone has a close save and none trigger. Next up we have Young Camilla, Axe of Dusk. Name is Condo, distance +1, max 4. Condo just means after attack is physical restriction from every game. In this case, it's number of space to stop end decision +1, max 4. So same as 2 space in attack. If you get 3. Sorry, no. You basically, yeah, it's 2 + 1 is 3. If you move 3 space in attack, it's +1 makes 4. Cells for sure commands 1. And then start the parry phase, inflict speed, defense -7, discord, and deep wound on foes that are in 2 spaces of another version's action. Discord is attack speed defense raise -X on them during combat, and the X number of allies in 2 spaces of them. 2 plus number of allies in 2 spaces of them plus max 5 by the way for this action. Deep wound they cannot heal, basically through battle or for this action. And then if they engage in combat. If she needs combat, or HP, or foe speed 700 or above start combat, Vener's attack speed defense is equal to the number of foes from previous combat center of her times 3, plus 5, max 14. She does +Y damage. The Y here is number bonus and penalty effects active on the foe, and any foes on types of foe, excluding stat bonuses and penalties, times 3, excluding her specials, and grants +1 to her per attack during combat. High spice is not set. And the decrease is necessary to make a fall attack by 25 would alert trigger 1. Excluding any guarantees or prevents. Potent follow X% is triggered during combat. If she cannot perform a follow attack and attacks twice, the X is 80, otherwise the X is 40. Potent follow just means you have a follow attack there and then, and it's percentage based, so in this case, if she has attacked twice in fact, so she cannot perform a follow attack and attacks twice, it's 80% of damage, otherwise it's 40%. No quota. Boost X% of attack when special triggers. If the foe's armored is 40, otherwise it's 30. Reduce if special triggers. Neutralize foes reduce X% by non-special skills. Triple. If her HP is 700%, if she's got or foe HP is 700% or above, start combat. Attack speed +7 during combat. As if the foe is an infantry or armor, or during any space when any space when 2 spaces of her that has a defining effect applied or counts as specific terrain. It's couldn't impossible, so no wall, so no like just walls that can't be broken. An additional +3 to attack at speed, and she does +5 damage during combat. So essentially gets a net bonus of 10 if both witness your man. And if she needs combat, she can make a fall attack before the foe's next attack. Tut is unique. She can move through 4 spaces. She can move to a space when 2 spaces of any ally with 2 spaces of her, and she can move to a space when 5 spaces where the Fire Fiend effect is applied. At the start of turn, if HP is 20% or above, attack speed +6 and reduces the percentage of foes non-special resist. There's X% skill by 50%, excluding her specials. This is granted her and allies when 2 spaces of her return. At the start of turn, if HP is 20% or above, after start turn, healing and damage effects are applied. So essentially, effects at the Fire Fiend claim and all that stuff. Applies the Fire Fiend, he is on closest foe, and on spaces when 2 spaces of those spaces for 1 turn. The heals effect here is attack speed defense -5 on them, neutralize bonuses from 64 fire and all that stuff during combat. And then if HP is 20% or above, attacks. Sorry. As start combat, if HP is 20% or above, speed defense -5 from foe, deals damage equal to 20% of her speed, excluding her specials. And then neutral effects guarantees full attack and defense hers. So you didn't know there. Guidance 4. Infantry and armor allies when 2 spaces come out, 2 spaces when 2 spaces fire. Attack speed +3 is granted infantry and armor allies when 2 spaces are for during their combat. And then if those allies outspeed, as same for this then, if those allies outspeed the foe, neutral effects defense those allies while attack during combat. Different from Leon, Tone with Dusk, counter meaning minimum 1. In this case, it's plus minimum. If you warp, it's just press that 1. Excels for trigger -1. If rally movement skills used by him, he gets another action. This is once per turn. After the axe, in which hit or condo is triggered after that. Clothing count -1 is granted to him. And also, if the number of times he is active on the current turn, not counting Kanto, is 2 or less, for foes that have flesh resistance to him +5, triggers the following effects based on the foe's position. If the foes from previous command center of him, attack rest -7, and sabotage effect on them. If they're in the current direction, gravity is also inflicted. Sabotage is inflicts penalties on their attack speed defense rest equal to has penalty on each stats between them and allies when 2 spaces of them. And gravity restricts movement to 1. And then start combat if his speed is 20% or above. Bonus to his attack speed defense rest equal to the number of allies from previous command center of him. Yeah, times 3 plus 5, max 14. Deal damage equals 20% of his resistance. This includes air effect specials. And reduce the percentage of foes non-special to X% back by 50%. Reposition target ally moves opposite of him, so it's your movement skill. Blaze of Thunder, before you use command. Foes in the area take damage equal to 1.5 times his attack minus foes defense or res. He's a tome, so he uses the resistance. Crystalline Water, attack rest +8 to him, but he loses 8 defense. Start the player enemy phase, neutralize panic, and any penalties on his attack rest that would take place at this effect at this time. And panic first moves into penalty, basically. Attack rest attack rest -1 foe during combat. Every resist skill, like the resistance, is used by him or targets him. Exposure is inflicted on the closest foe within 5 spaces of both him and an ally after movement, and foes in 2 spaces of those foes for his action. And then attack rest -5 on the foes with the exposure effect, and neutralizes bonuses attack and rest of those foes during combat. Exposure to take 10 extra damage. Attack rest at home, start turn if he's in 2 spaces of an ally. Attack rest +6 and sight is granted to him and 2 allies when 2 spaces per turn. And grants bonus to his attack rest during combat equal to the number of allies with the incite effect +2, max 5, excludes himself. And sight means if this unit is combat, bonus to his attack speed defense is equal to the number of suits that are in position of him during combat. Max 3, that turn only. And then we have Elise, who I believe is the 4-star. Baton of Dust. Speed +3, Kanto remaining minimum 1. And then calculate damage to stuff like on your weapon. As an alternative, HP is 20% above, attack speed +6, treachery, and clone count +1 per attack during combat. Has twice attack. It's granted her and allies when 2 pieces of her for the turn. Treachery deals additional damage equal to total bonus on them for the turn. As a card, if HP is 20% or above, bonus to your attack speed defense rest equal to the number of foes in free rules combat center of her times 3 plus 5, max 14. Deals damage equal to 20% of her resistance, excluding her specials. If the calculated damage to stuff like on her weapon is neutralized, then it's considered it's added afterwards. There we go. And neutral effects guarantees foes like and defense hers. Return. I don't know what's happening here. And return plus resource HP equal to 50% for attack, minimum HP. Target to the target ally, and then move to the outside of her. And then if the ally cannot move to the target space, then they won't. This skill has no effect on the cooling count and does not gain expenditure SP. It sure does move itself if the cat accurately moves. Holy Panic, 2 charge. If this skill is used, it will not go down. And then when spell triggers, boost size by 20% of the foe's resistance. Calculate damage to stop after combat damage is added. And if the special triggers, attack rest -6 and panic is inflicted on target and foes when chooses a target's action. She also has Miracle in addition to this, which is a fire charge if HP is above 1 and foe. I don't know what's happening here. Are we fine? I think we're fine. Anyway. If HP is of 1 and opposed attack reduced to 0, so 5 to 1 HP. That's a miracle. Attacks be tighting. Exchange count or to increase space an ally. Opposed attacker miss equal to the number of allies from increased space of power times 2. Plus 8, max is 12. And the foe cannot counterattack during combat. And an even recovery free. At start an even return, 20 HP is restored, and neutralized penalty effects off are neutralized on those allies, excluding those that are inflicted at the start of turn. Applies to the last person's action. There's some fact I think I was right that this is Elise. Oh, am I getting this wrong? Let me double check. It is Elise, okay. Yeah, best on your summons, just go for Harris in Season 1. Camille was strong, but I don't think she is as much now. I already have Elise, so I'm going to go for the dual unit. I'm probably just going to get a free star here. Okay, no, at least it's probably 4-star in. Or it's the dual unit, never mind. I didn't have them, so that's my first copy. I'll take that. Attack down, defense up. Alright. Actually, one of the few times where I do these and get lucky. And best I can summons, I'll see you next time.